Alright folks, let's take a look at our first lesson, and before we get into solving equations, we better talk about simplifying expressions. So let's title these notes Simplifying Expressions. Okay? We're going to look at about 3 examples, and that should do it because this lesson is something you've done quite a bit, but we need a little refresher on it possibly. So let's take a look at our first example. When we simplify expressions, what we're basically doing is just combining like terms. And to combine like terms, all you need to know how to do is basically add integers. So example 1 would look like this. Let's start really easy. 2x plus 1 plus 3x minus 4. Okay, when we look at this expression, we can see that this one and this one have like terms because they both have x on them. So I can combine 2x and 3x to get to 5x. And then we can see that we have 2 constants. We have 2 numbers without a variable. So we have a 1 and a negative 4, and they would combine to give us a negative 3. Because 1 plus negative 4 is negative 3. Okay, so that's really simple. Those you probably don't even need a review with. But there are a few little tricky things that we need to talk about when we're simplifying expressions. So let's get into one of those. Okay. Look at example 2. In this example, let's take a look at what might trick some people up. So what if we had like a negative 3x minus 2 parentheses x minus 4 and plus 1. So we got a lot going on here. And before I start combining any like terms, I need to get rid of this parentheses here in the middle. So anytime we have a number in front of a parentheses, remember we always want to use the distributive property and distribute that in there. Now when I distribute that 2, this minus in front of it is what causes people trouble. They forget to attach the negative to the 2, and sometimes they even forget to distribute this negative 2 to both terms inside the parentheses. Okay, so we're going to have to distribute that, and then we will combine our like terms. So let's look. This negative 3x is going to come down because we can't do anything with that just yet. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4 is a positive 8. 2 negatives make a positive, right? And then this plus 1, it is not inside the parentheses, so I'm not going to distribute that. It'll just come on down. Now, it just so happens that our like terms are grouped. Pretty handy, isn't it? So negative 3x and negative 2x would combine to give us negative 5x. And then, of course, 8 plus 1 would combine to give us 9. So that's our final answer. We have combined everything we can. There is nothing more to do there. Okay? Let's try this one more. Example 3. How about we have 2 sets of parentheses where we have to combine? Okay, what if we had like 8 times 2x minus 1 minus 5 times 3 minus x. Come on, x. All right, there we go. So in this expression, we got 2 sets of parentheses, which means we will distribute twice. So I'm going to go ahead and get going. Let's 8 times 2x gives me 16x. 8 times negative 1 gives me negative 8. Okay. Now let's head over to this negative 5. This negative 5 is going to distribute, so negative 5 times 3, negative 15. Negative 5 times a negative x. that seems weird, but you know, 2 negatives will make a positive. And 5 times x is just 5x. If that seems weird for you, just remember that there is a 1 understood to be right there in front of that x. So 5 times 1 would give us the 5. Okay. Now I check out my like terms, and over here I've got 16x. Over here I have another x, so 16x plus 5x is 21x. Negative 5 and minus 15. 2 negatives don't make a positive here because we're not multiplying, so make sure you don't do that. Gives you minus 23. Now, why am I telling you, why am I bringing that up if that's something you shouldn't do? The reason I bring that up is because when you take the ACT, they're going to give you choices that tempt you to think that they're correct. For instance, I'm going to draw a line here because obviously that one's correct. They might give you 21x squared minus 23. They could give you 21x plus 23. These are 2 really good wrong answers. And the reason I say that is because there are misconceptions out there with combining like terms. The first misconception is right here, that when you add terms like 16x and 5x, a lot of kids want to change that exponent. And you can see we did not. This is the correct answer right here. We leave exponents alone when we combine like terms. Okay? Also, the other misconception, of course, I just mentioned, is where some people hear in their head, because math teachers say it all the time, 2 negatives make a positive. Well, not when you're combining like terms. 2 negatives only make a positive when you're multiplying or dividing. Okay, so I wanted to bring that up. Would the ACT ever give you a problem like this? Yes, you could see a simplifying expression problem right there in the first 10. Okay, so it's good that we practice it and just make sure that we're going to kind of get our brains warmed up. You guys haven't done any math since, what, March? So that's like 6 months ago. That's the longest break you've had from math since you were in kindergarten. So we're going to start you off a little bit easy, and I hope this video helps. Message me if you have any questions. Until later, see ya. Bye.